Hello and welcome back to Invincible Asia. I'm George Clark and today I get to check out Tsui Hark's classic Chinese ghost story trilogy released on Blu-ray by Shout Factory. Don't forget folks, before we go any further, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, ring the bell and all that jibber jabber, and thank you very much for supporting Invincible Asia. So, following on from the Hong Kong Gamblers and Gangsters box set, we now have a Chinese ghost story trilogy which continues the Hong Kong Cinema Classics numbers of 14 to 16. You can see just here on the spine. And what a gorgeous box set it is. I'm not too sure straight away who the artist is. I will check in that. But this is fantastic to finally get our hands on this wonderful Tsui Hark trilogy. I just love it. I adore it, and I do have multiple copies, of course, that I am going to share with you. Now, the first thing that jumps out to me, and much like the Hong Kong Gamblers and Gangsters box set, is that they are on Blu-ray only and not 4K, which is quite strange considering how big and how popular these three titles are, more so than what was put out previously, but yet everything else that has come out on this new Cinema City Golden Princess deal has been 4K. City on Fire, Hardboiled Killer, etc. Better Tomorrow Trilogy and so on, which we will get into because they have arrived with me also. But yes, this is a classic trilogy, and of course for me it started back with Made in Hong Kong. This was the first film released, and I did miss out on buying the second movie, which I was really annoyed at, and I keep looking out for it on eBay and I don't really have any luck with that. But this is when I first fell in love with this incredible movie. Of course, the DVD market came in. Hong Kong Legends digitally restored it on DVD, which I was very happy with. Again, such an incredible upgrade. And this was the version I went back to time and time again. I did manage to pick up the second one, thankfully, which they put out, and they never did reach the third on this label, which I was really annoyed with, to be honest, because whenever they put out the Hong Kong Legends magazine that gave away a free DVD, they put out 1, 2 and 3, which was very bizarre, but at least it was the first time I was able to see part 3. Strange why they didn't go down the route of putting it out on the label, but with the magazine, yes. Now, of course, this won't be the first time I have had these on Blu-ray. I did get that via Nova Media, the South Korean Blu-ray label, distribution label, which did this gorgeous box set, and they were pretty damn good. Of course, the finest I had ever seen them. They all looked tremendous. Let me just quickly pop them out there, and you will see just how lovely they look. Now, not a lot of special features, if any. I can't really see. Maybe there is a couple there, but certainly not as much as what Shout Factory are putting out there. And I do love this set. It is gorgeous. I'll not be getting rid of it too soon. But now, to continue this Hong Kong Cinema Classics range, I was very happy to pick this up. Now, saying that, I'm hoping that Arrow go down the route of putting them out on 4K. I think that would be the right move to do. Anyway, this is quite stunning, absolutely stunning, and of course it comes with a free poster. And this is the other problem I find with Shout Factory is, yes, they give you a free poster, but they put it in a big bloody tube, which is totally understandable. But if they folded this up and put it into this box set, the likes of what 88 Films do with their deluxe editions, then it would save on postage costs, it would save on material costs, it would save on a lot of things, and it would also bulk out that particular box release in question. Now let me just try and get into this without ripping the poster, and then I can share with you the artwork in its full glory which just looks fantastic. Absolutely wonderful. Again, I'm not just too sure right away who is behind that, but hopefully it will tell me on the box. But that is a gorgeous piece. I'll just let that lie there now, and then I'll pack it up because I want to get really into this. There's a lot to get through, and of course I do have Hard Boiled and the Better Tomorrow trilogy to get through with you this week also. So I cannot wait. But what do we got here? Disc 1, A Chinese Ghost Story, a new 4K scan from the original camera negative. Already, this should be miles better than what Nova Media put out there. New optional English subtitles, newly translated for this release. A new Leslie Cheung story, Hong Kong's Eternal Icon. A feature-length documentary on the Cantopop and Chinese Ghost Story sensation, Leslie Cheung, featuring interviews with Chinese Ghost Story cinematographer Ray Wong, composer Richard Yuen, musical collaborator Chris Babida, stunt actors Mars and Shuko, academics Victor Van and Chen Yulin, and film critics James Mudge and David West. Fantastic. I mean, what a special feature. New Hong Kong Confidential, Inside a Chinese Ghost Story with author Grady Hendrix, new audio commentary with James Mudge, theatrical trailer and image gallery. So already quite the collection there on the first disc alone. Disc 2, A Chinese Ghost Story 2, new 4K scan from the original camera negative, new optional English subtitles, newly translated, new story of a sequel, interview with author and critic David West, new Hong Kong Confidential, Inside a Chinese Ghost Story 2 with author Grady Hendrix, new audio commentary with James Mudge, theatrical trailer, image gallery, and an archival interview with composer James Wong. Then on disc 3, of course, A Chinese Ghost Story 3, a new 4K scan from the original camera negatives, new optional English subtitles, newly translated for this release, a new Third Time Lucky interview with author and critic David West, Hong Kong Confidential, Inside a Chinese Ghost Story 3 with Grady Hendrix, audio commentary with James Mudge, theatrical trailer, image gallery, archival interview with composer James Wong, again, archival interview with martial arts director Yun Bun. So yes, quite a packed release. I mean, that is pretty amazing. And as I say, numbers 14, 15 and 16 with the Hong Kong Cinema Classics range there. Okay, so let's get stuck in because I am dying to see these new 4K restorations. I really can't wait. And of course, all these extra features that are promised there. The covers, as you can see, are using the old Hong Kong artwork. Inside, everything is kept as basic as. And I would love to have seen this new artist on the box do reverse covers here. I think that would have been nice to have a wee switcheroo. But of course, on the other side, we have clips from the movies. And this is the beautiful Joey Wong, forever typecast as this ghostly female for the most of her career after this. Of course, we have seen her in many other Hong Kong action movies, comedies, things like that. But yes, a Tony Ching Sudong trilogy as much as it is Choi Hark's, and the two of them worked together on many projects over the years. But yeah, and of course I would say Choi Hark, being the producer, had his fingers in the pie as much as he could in terms of directing and calling some shots. That's just the kind of guy he is, and that's understandable. You know, it's a big piece of him as much as it is Ching Sudong. But I'm very happy to have this, as much as I've seen them all many times, just to get this ultimate upgrade, which is so far. But I really do hope that Arrow go down the 4K route on 4K discs, not just a restoration, but putting the whole thing out as 4K discs. I think it deserves it. A trilogy like this absolutely deserves it. And of course, part 3, which doesn't stick out in my head as much as the other two, but I do remember loving it. So I'm very excited to get back into that, because it has been some time since I last watched all 3 via the Nova Media set, for sure. Okay, that's pretty much all there is to share with you. I am now going to go check out absolutely everything that is on here, come right back and let you know what I think. So just back after checking out the Shout Factory Blu-ray release of the incredible Chinese Ghost Story Trilogy, 3 incredible films that honestly, I don't think their beauty and cinematography has really stood out to me as well as it does with these 4K restorations. They looked absolutely incredible, and you can see why they're held in such high regard. They were just fan-friggin-tastic to go through, and it didn't bother me going back to watch them all twice with the James Mudge audio commentaries, which is always a treat. Very, very informative, often very funny. Of course, the giggler kicks off laughing whenever he feels like it, but there's a lot of insightful pieces and background to everyone involved in each of these movies. But wow, they just looked stunning. The first movie, there was a few scenes that kind of almost had like a strobe effect, but I mean, if we're talking out of 100% here, we're talking 3 or 4% of it. The rest of the movie looked just glorious, absolutely glorious. And what there's, I mean, the art design, the practical effects, everything about these, I've overlooked for many, many years, because although I've enjoyed watching them time and time again, very much so, I don't think I've ever sat down to really focus on what is going on there until now, and it really stands out. I really just hope that Arrow Video put out a 4K release, not just a 4K restoration, but a 4K release, because they absolutely deserve it. They're friggin' gorgeous. Behind me here you can see Chris Melbourne's work put to use on the menu. Typical of what Shout Factory do with their menus. There's nothing too special about that. On disc 1, on a Chinese Ghost Story 1, you have that Leslie Cheung special. Fantastic. Ran for 82 minutes. I mean, it's just really a host of interviews with a lot of people. Clips from mostly A Chinese Ghost Story or Little Dragon Maiden, album covers, posters of films that he's been in, things like that. But there's a lot to be said about this incredible and gorgeous actor and singer who unfortunately left us far too soon. But that is a special feature worth checking out. It is incredible. I'm really glad that they put it on there. On A Chinese Ghost Story 2, which this film of course sees the addition of the great Jacky Cheung and Wes Lee joining the cast there. You have Story of a Sequel, which is about a 15-minute piece from David West on the sequel, which was interesting enough. You know, there's hardly a lot of energy comes from David West, but when he talks, he does put across some fantastic points and informative stuff about the movie, of course. Then you have an archival James Wong interview. Now, James Wong is a composer. He's also a bit part actor here and there, but he's a very fun guy, very illustrated, let's just say. But I'm not too sure where that archival interview comes from. That ran for about 8 minutes. And that continues on part 3. You have the same interview kind of broken in half there, where he talks then later about that sequel, and that one ran for about 12 minutes in all. So a wee bit longer. You also have an archival on part 3. You have an archival interview with Yuen Bun, who was the action choreographer, or one of the action choreographers. Fantastic guy. And again, talks a wee bit about his life, but more about the film. That ran for around 13 minutes. But very, very interesting to listen to there. But also you have on part 3, Third Time Lucky, David West returning once again to talk about this particular movie, running for about 15 minutes. Then you have on all 3 movies that talked about James Mudge audio commentary, which are definitely worth checking out. But you have Grady Hendrix doing his Hong Kong confidential pieces on each disc there. These run anywhere from 9 minutes to 15 minutes, kind of like, I think it was like 9, 10 and 15 minutes. And Grady cracks me up. I mean, he seems like a wonderful guy, but he talks like he's best friends with the director, like he was on set for all of these. I mean, it's hilarious, but he's quite informative, and you can't help but watch and enjoy what he has to say about each of these movies. And of course, they're all very well put together there. You have trailers on all of the movies, on all of the discs. These are presented in HD, of course, being on the Blu-ray, but they're unrestored. And it's great to watch these, see that quality, and then go into the movies and see the work that has been done with those 4K restorations, because they are stunning. And again, those trailers run anywhere from just over 2 minutes to the longest being just over 4 minutes. You might not want to watch them all, but again, check out that quality before the restorations. And then finally, on each of the discs, you have got image galleries, which were pretty cool. Again, running from anywhere from 2 minutes to about 3.5 minutes. plenty of artwork, lobby cards, things like that, some really cool posters from around the world, but also some stills from the movie that play throughout each of them there. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, this is a packed release and it is a gorgeous release. I'm just confused as to why they didn't put it out in 4K like they're doing with everything else there. Also, don't forget that this is Region A, so if you don't have a multi-regional player or aren't from North America, you're not going to be able to watch this. You're going to have to wait for that Arrow release. But for me, I love it. I am giving this a double thumbs up. Super glad that it's in my collection. Out now to buy from Shout Factory. So thank you once again for watching another video here on Invincible Asia. Don't forget you can check out hundreds of others here on the channel. You can also show your continued support by heading over to my new merch store or by checking out invincibleasia.com, where you can read my full movie reviews and follow me on Instagram @InvincibleAsia. Until next time though, enjoy your Kung Fu and I will see you soon.